What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone, to another episode of the Demonic Wave Podcast. And as always, it is your favorite demon, misunderstood demon. I'm your host. And today, I want to talk about two artists that I feel have been falling off for a hot minute now. I'm going to be talking about what they've been doing recently, their recent albums and everything like that. And that, of course, are Drake and Kanye West. Or Ye, since he changed his name. Now, I know this has been talked to death. You know, I know people have been talking about Donda. They've been talking about COB. They've been talking about their beef, their reconciliations and shit like that. But I think I want to talk about it just because, well, to be fair, I didn't have a platform to talk about it and all my gripes. But now that I do, I want to talk about it real quick. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about Donda. I'm going to talk about COB. I'm going to be talking about the artist. I'm going to be talking about the beef that they had for a hot minute. I'm going to be talking about, you know, them coming together and squashing the beef and everything like that. And yeah, this is going to be a decently long episode just because I have a lot to say. But yeah, let's get into it. And the first thing I'm going to be talking about is Donda. Okay, so first segment, I gotta talk about Kanye West, Donda. Now, first and foremost, I love Kanye West. He is a great artist. He has so much talent, okay? So much talent. But he has been falling off like a motherfucker all throughout these past few years. With his gospel album not really doing so hot, I listened to it literally once, thought it was dope, but then I listened to it again, it was crap. Didn't listen to it ever again. And then Donda dropped. Correction, Donda took a hot fucking minute. And then it was dropped by the motherfucking publishers who, I forgot their fucking names. They dropped it. Kanye didn't even drop it. Now, let me just say this. We waited about, what was it? About a month, maybe 2 months, something like that, for this motherfucking album. We waited that long. And it honestly was not good at all. At all. Because one, when it first appeared, and there was that the private listening party for it, and you know, there were like no cell phones, no pictures and shit. And then, you know, you had celebrities and everything. They're tweeting about it afterwards, and they were just like, "Oh, this sounds like Kanye West." You know, like, you know, him just like up and coming. He's like, he's hungry. He sounds hungry on it and everything. And I was just like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I like that." You know what I'm saying? Like, some of my favorite albums was, you know, Late Registration or Graduation, College Dropout and stuff like that. Those are some of my favorite albums from Kanye West. So I'm like, damn, if it sounds like that, this is going to be a pretty good with like modern type beats that he creates, because he's also a producer. And so I'm like, awesome. And then what happened? It didn't drop. And then there was the next listening party in the stadium. I think it was the Mercedes one. You know, and then that happened, didn't drop. And then I think that's when he did the live? Yeah. So after that listening party, he did a live stream, a silent 24-hour fucking live stream. You see people coming in, you see people like Lil Yachty, Chance the Rapper, a bunch of other people. You see them coming in, they're having conversations, and you can't hear shit because it's silent. You see this man freaking doing push-ups and lifting weights and everything. You see Chance the Rapper in the corner on his phone. And I'm just like, what in the world is this? And then every time, and it's just like, he's working on the album. He's tweaking it. He's doing this. He's doing that. And I'm just like, what the hell is he doing? I was like, how can you still be tweaking something that should have been done like a hot minute ago? And I understand that, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, it should have dropped when he said it should have dropped. No, I'm not going to say that. Frankly, just because when you're making not only a single, but you're making a whole fucking album, a really important album, you know, you want that to be, you know, to be perfect. you don't want it to come out mediocre. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way, like, making a video game. So, like, for example, like Cyberpunk. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't done. They kept delaying it. But, when it came out a mess. And they were just like, we wanted more time on it and everything. But, crunch time and everything like that. So I understand that, if he's tweaking, here and there. But then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, he had 2 listening parties. And I'm like, when you do a listening party, that basically is saying, yeah, this project that I've been working on is basically done. You've listened to the whole thing. It's a listening party. So it's going to be dropping fairly soon. But then you're just like, nah, I gave you a listening party, but I'm still going to be working on it. Don't worry about it. So it's like, make up your fucking mind. So he had that, and that freaking live stream broke records on, what the fuck was it, like Apple Music or something like it? It broke fucking records. It was silent. And so I'm just like, whatever. He had another listening party. Motherfucker ascended afterwards. Still didn't drop the fucking album. So he's still working on it. And then word gets around, another listening party's coming out. This time it's in Chicago, I believe. He's building his old house. And then the listening party happens and all that shit. And you see Marilyn Manson and you see DaBaby and a bunch of other crazy shit happening. And then after so long, after about a month, 2 months, whatever, however fucking long it took, the album drops. And it's on, it not only does it drop, it's on, all streaming services. You see it on Spotify, you see it on iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube. And then you get a tweet later and saying, from Kanye saying, I didn't drop this, they dropped it for me. And it was just like, I'm pissed off. Well, no fucking wonder. No wonder they dropped it for you. I forgot who it is that dropped the publisher. I forgot their names. So don't get mad at me in the fucking comments or anything. But yeah, Kanye is like, oh, I was still working on it or something like that. And it was just like, oh. And then you get like these tweets and everything that someone found, and it was just like, he's delaying it to get confirmation for DaBaby's verse on, the hell was it? No, it wasn't Jail. No, it might have been. I don't remember. I didn't care. But trying to get confirmation, and he's just like, oh, well, I'm gonna delay that album just so I can, get this one verse on there. And I'm just like, for one fucking verse, you're gonna delay a whole album for one verse. Okay, whatever. But yeah, so the album drops, and let me talk about this album. Now, the name of this album is Donda. First and foremost, the album cover is literally just a black square, which, I mean, it's whatever, it's whatever. But the picture that was possibly going to be used with the red, that red figure that was drawn, I'm being honest, that one looked interesting. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, oh, that actually looks, like it could be a cool cover. It wasn't the cover. But skip past that. Whatever. So the name of the album was Donda. People talking about it and everything like that. Oh, it's about his mother and everything like that. So I was just like, okay. So I'm thinking it's a heavy, a concept album in a sense. So I'm just like, okay, it's probably going to be about his mother and, what she was going through, what they were going through when they were, when Kanye was growing up, and he's talking about himself more. He's talked about himself beforehand, growing up and everything like that. But I'm guessing, in a sense, more emotional, more about his mom. But no, we got the very first song, not even a song, the Donda chant. And people were saying, oh, the reason it sounds like that, it was her last heartbeats. And I was just like, okay, that's interesting. I guess that's a cool concept. But then the rest of the songs, he's talking about God. He's talking about getting saved and shit. He talks about his mom for like one episode and then goes right back to God and shit. And Jesus. And everyone else kind of follows suit. They all were talking about God and everything. Now, here's the thing. I don't hate music like that. All right, it's not like, oh, I hate gospel music or shit like that. No, it's not that. If you want to talk about God, talk about God. I listen to a bunch of other rappers that talk about God. It's the way Kanye did it. It was too much, and it was like every fucking 2 seconds. And what made it worse is this fucking album was long as hell. All right, an hour and I think 49-minute fucking runtime. One of the songs was 11 goddamn minutes. And I think that was like either second to last or last song. I don't remember, but it featured the Locks. I like the Locks. They're good. But yeah, this album honestly was one of Kanye's worst. From the beats to Kanye himself. And I'm being honest with you. The only good parts of this were some of the features. Not even a lot, some. Of course, The Weeknd and Lil Baby, that was good. Whatever fucking song that was. I think Hurricane, yeah, that was good. And Fabio on, Off the Grid, that was pretty good. He spit pretty well, but I'm not a big fan of Fabio and the shit that he does. But, it's whatever. I can appreciate, he did something pretty good. And Roddy Ricch on whatever song he was on. And I think he only did the chorus for that song. So, yeah. Donda was just hot garbage. I'm going to be honest with you. It was not good. When I saw those tweets talking about, oh, he sounds hungry and everything like that, I thought we were about to get some OG type Kanye. Like, we want the old Kanye, not the new. I thought we were getting old Kanye. No, we got new Kanye thinking that he was old Kanye. That's what the fuck we got. I'm being so real with you. The runtime, I'll say it like this. The runtime said an hour 49, just about. You have songs that were like 3 minutes and some change, or like 4 minutes, whatever. The way Kanye created the beats and everything, and the way it sounded, those 3 minute, 4 minute songs easily sounded like 6 minute, 7 minute songs to me. Because as I'm listening to it, the ending, like when rappers and artists, when they finish a beat or they're finishing out a song, it was like it would fade out, or they switch it up and it would sound cool and then fade out like that, so that oh, it's coming to an end, and you sense it. You can sense the ending coming because it's starting to get quieter. The instruments are starting to get stripped down more, so you're starting to hear less and less and everything. So like, cool. Not this fucking album. This album kept the pace, it kept the beat at a certain tone. I'll say it like that, a certain tone that I'm listening to it and I don't know when it's ending. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking, it's like a minute, 2 extra minutes of just the fucking beat. Let me not say 2 minutes, but at least 30 seconds to a minute, give or take, of just the beat. Now, I have no problem with that, especially on songs where I really enjoy the beat, but the beats on Donda weren't even good. They weren't even that good. And Kanye, of course, Kanye, he took part in making the beats. He's a producer and everything like that. But even the beats, they didn't even sound good, in my opinion. Like, it was just like, these sound awful. Like, I just did not enjoy them. I was just like, oh my God. Like, Kanye's verses weren't good. And I felt like they didn't really, like, not only that, but his verses, his vocals, they didn't help, with the beat. Like, they didn't feel enhanced. They didn't feel elevated in a sense. They were just clashed together. You know what I'm saying? The featured artists, they worked well with the beats. Kanye himself, who made the fucking beats, I guess not all of them, or he had other people helping him, work with the beats and everything. He did not use these beats well. And they were his own fucking beats. Donda was just, not good. And I'm seeing a bunch of people saying, oh man, this is album of the lifetime, this is his best album out, this is album of the year type shit. And I'm just like, I don't think we heard the same fucking album. Did we? I don't think we did. I feel like if it wasn't delayed as much as it was, we would have gotten this hot garbage quicker and been over it quicker. I'm gonna say it like that. I wish he didn't delay it so that we could have had it, been done with it. We're good. We're good. Let me just say this real quick. Of course, this is my opinion, but like I said, it wasn't good. There's no, in my opinion, there's no memorable songs on there. I mean, the only memorable songs, damn, I can't even think of. I guess I would say Hurricane and Off the Grid. I guess I would say those. But it's only because it's not even Kanye. It's the featured artists, you know? Like on Hurricane, it's Lil Baby and The Weeknd, you know what I'm saying? They work decently well together and they sounded great on that track. For Off the Grid, for me personally, it was Fabio. Even though I don't like his type of music, but he sounded really good on, you know, on Off the Grid. I'm like, I can appreciate that. But Kanye himself throughout this whole album was just not good, you know? And, you know, really just, it honestly was just a stinker, you know? And he came out with a deluxe not too long ago. And it had the Andre 3000 verse, the song that, who was it? I think Drake talked about it. I'll talk about that in the next segment. That, you know, Drake was talking about. And that was the best fucking thing ever. He also had a song with Tyler, the Creator, which I listen to, which I like, is Tyler. But that Andre 3000 verse was fucking amazing. And to think, you know, I'm like, why is it that this wasn't on Donda? You know, why did we have to wait for the deluxe to get this? And, you know, I read about it and it was about, you know, they had like their differences type shit or whatever. But I'm just like, you know, you can't, I was like, damn, Kanye really did not pick well when it came to picking the songs and everything like that. But yeah, no, in my opinion, Donda, we should not have gotten Donda. He should have made this like fucking like one of the other albums he said would drop, but then he scraps it. That, I'm being honest, that's what Donda should have been. It should have been an album that he talks about. He released maybe like one or two singles from it, but then he scraps it. It should have been that. It honestly should have been that. Because Kanye is known for doing that. He's known for, you know, talking about an upcoming project that he's working on, but then he scraps it, you know? He releases like a single or two, or he releases like some snippets or whatever, or like the cover art, but then he scraps it, and you never see the light of day of it. You know, he's done that a lot. And I feel like that's what Donda should have been. It should have been a scrap project. Because it just wasn't good, in my opinion, you know? But enough about that. Next up, I'm going to be talking about Drake, C.O.B., and that's definitely going to be a short segment. So, get ready for that. Okay, next up, I'm going to be talking about Drake, C.O.B., aka Certified Lover Boy. First and foremost, let me talk about Drake. He has fallen off a lot throughout these past few years. I'm not even joking. He was honestly a favorite of mine when he first was coming out. You know, like his song Forever that had, you know, like Eminem, Kanye, Lil Wayne and shit. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. What else? Like Marvin's Room. Nothing Was the Same. You know, that type of stuff. But his recent stuff, you know, like Scorpion was trash. It was utterly trash. What the fuck? What album was it? More Life, I think. He literally has one song that I like, and it's not even because of Drake. It's Travis and Quavo, that song. I forgot the name of it. whatever. But yeah, no, recently Drake has not been good. His features have been good. It's his own music that I don't like. I would rather listen to featuring Drake instead of Drake featuring someone else or Drake alone, because it's gotten to that point. Now, like I said, this segment is going to be quick because I'm mostly just going to be talking about Drake, as an artist, which I have. But I'm also going to not talk about CLB because I did not listen to it. I think I've listened to one or two songs. Like, I listened to the one, what the hell was it? Like, Way Too Sexy or something like that. And it featured Future, whatever. I listened to that song. Wasn't a fan of it. I think I listened to another song that my mother liked that featured, I think her name was like Thames, something like that. I forgot. But yeah, Drake wasn't good on that. But the singer, she was. And she owned that fucking beat. She understood the assignment. And she went above and beyond. She didn't just do 100. She didn't just get 100 on that beat. She got a fucking 110 plus bonus points. Drake got a fucking failing grade on that fucking song. I don't remember the name of the song, and so because of that, I'm not going to talk much about CLB. But from what I've listened to, a couple of songs here and there, from reading people's reviews and talking about it and everything like that, it's very split. It's kind of like Donda in a sense, where it's split, but people would rather listen to Donda than CLB. Me, I'd rather listen to neither, because they were both trash. I don't care what anyone says. They were both trash. And I'm not going to say CLB was utter trash, because I haven't listened to it. But based on what I've listened to, it was trash, and it was going to be trash from the fucking beginning. Because Drake is basically like, I'm being honest with you, he's not good anymore. He's not. From him doing different fucking accents and from different fucking countries and shit, to just having, his monotone type style voice and the singing and everything like that, it's not good, in my opinion. It's not. It's just not. And, that's what was going to be on CLB. A bunch of that. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I'm reading shit. I'm reading the comments about it. And people are just like, oh man, he switched up the accent again. I'm like, this nigga was Jamaican like 2 fucking albums ago. And it's like, this nigga's like fucking Somalian or some shit like that. And I'm like, yo, this nigga cannot stay in like one fucking lane. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to listen to it. So I didn't listen to it, So I'm not going to talk about CLB that much. But, I like I said, this is just my opinion. So don't get mad at me. Don't say you're wrong or anything like that. But Drake has been falling off for I don't know how long now. His features are in my opinion, his features are the only things that are keeping him afloat. His own music, his own fucking music just does not hit the same as it did when he was first coming out. And of course, I understand artists change, as they get older, as things, they aren't the same anymore and everything like that. I understand that. Not every artist, that I like growing up are going to sound exactly the same, like with every single project, every single single that they release. Like, for example, Schoolboy Q. My favorite album from him was fucking Oxymoron. You know what I'm saying? That was his best fucking album. And of course, Crash Talk sounds nothing like Oxymoron. But here's the difference. I love Schoolboy Q. And I loved Crash Talk. It's one of my favorite albums. But of course, is it number one? No. Oxymoron's still number one. Because I feel that was Schoolboy at his peak. But Crash Talk is definitely like second for me. And third is, what the hell was it? Blank Face. I believe it was Blank Face. That was a great one. But as I listen to these albums, Schoolboy doesn't sound the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, Oxymoron to Crash Talk, he doesn't sound the same. It sounds like he, how can I put it? In a sense, he, modernized or like, he got with the times in a sense. And like from the way he's rapping and everything like that, And it's just like, cool, in a sense, he's adapting, in a sense. But I'm just like, he still sounds fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. Like, he still sounds great. Drake, he does not. he didn't sound great anymore. You know what I'm saying? From when he first started, Young Money and everything like that, it was awesome. Shit, fucking hell yeah, fucking right. I love that song. You know what I'm saying? Started from the bottom and stuff like that. Great songs. Great projects too. You know what I'm saying? Nothing Was the Same was, my top fucking 3 for Drake, That one, Marvin's Room and shit like that. Great fucking albums, great projects when he was growing up. Coming up and everything like that. But recently, Scorpion, Views, and More Life, C.O.B., and anything else that he's been dropping and everything, it's been shit. Because not only does he not sound the same, of course he's not going to sound the same, he's been growing up and everything like that, but in a sense, based on what I've been listening to, because I've listened to Scorpion at least, but I feel like he's not really trying anymore, in a sense, where he's just like, I'm popular I feel like his mindset's like, I'm popular to a certain degree that I don't really have to try. I can put out absolute garbage and people will still fucking get it to number 1. I feel like that's the type of mindset he has, in a sense, when it comes to his own music. When it comes to features, he goes, all right, I gotta steal this song. I gotta make this my own song, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, he needs that drive. He doesn't have that drive when it comes to his own music. And of course, let me just say, like I said, before, it's my opinion, but he doesn't have that anymore. You know what I'm saying? He feels like he's just doing one fucking song over and over again, just slightly different. You know what I'm saying? So there's no change. There's no difference. There's nothing better there, And shit, what is this? Man, I don't even know what to say anymore. I think I said everything I needed to say about Drake. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about CLB because I didn't listen to it. Because I'm being honest with you, based on what I've listened to, as I said before, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But the next segment I'm going to be talking about is the Drake and Kanye beef, as well as squashing the beef. And I'll do that segment, and then after that I'll wrap up this episode. So get ready for that. So, the Drake and Kanye beef was utter bullshit. In my opinion. It was nothing. I don't remember what the hell they were fighting about or beefing about. Drake said something. I believe it started with Drake saying something, or it might have been... Honestly, I don't remember, and I could care fucking less. But all I remember is people started making speculations about, when COB drops, Donda's gonna drop, or when Donda drops, COB's gonna drop like the week after. They started having this beef and shit, and I think Kanye like sent out Drake's address or something like that. I don't remember. I didn't care enough. But yeah, and I'm seeing, celebrities talking about, oh man, this beef is crazy, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, it's not really that fucking crazy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there was one point in this beef, I'll call it a beef for now, because I guess that's what it was. But in this beef, Drake kind of shot himself in the fucking foot. The reason is because I think it was around the time Donda did drop, or was forcefully dropped, and Drake talks about something. He talks about Andre 3000 and talking about, you left him off the album, blah blah blah, and everything. And then that mess surfaces. Andre's verse, it surfaces that was taken off of Donda, and so Drake is like, oh yeah, I got him, yeah. But then everyone starts listening to that verse. And then Drake's like, wait a minute. Now Kanye's starting to get a lot of attention because of this. And then Drake's like, wait a minute. this isn't what I planned. He shot himself in the fucking foot. He didn't end anything. He enhanced the fucking album to a certain extent. And now everyone knows about this amazing fucking verse that wasn't on Donda. So now Kanye is like getting flack and shit. He's starting to, he's starting to get more attention, but I guess in a negative sense, because people, they're just like, why wasn't this on the album? What's the reason for it? We need to, we need an explanation and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And of course I listened to it and I was just like, well, goddamn, this sounds like it would be the best thing on this whole goddamn album. And guess what? Donda Deluxe came out, like a month ago? Just about. And guess what's on there? The fucking Andre 3000 verse. The best part of that whole fucking album. That whole deluxe album. And it's just like, what the hell? Now, let me come back to the beef, because it was basically two kids with too much money doing bullshit. That's what it was. It was two spoiled kids with too much money doing bullshit. And people talking about, when Donda drops, COB will drop. When COB drops, Donda will drop. Oh, I don't care about COB, Donda's dropping. Oh, I don't care about Donda, COB is dropping. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. And it's just like, why is it that this is considered a beef? You know what I'm saying? Because, for example, you had something like when Pusha T went up against Drake, and he was talking about who the fuck was it? His kid, Adonis. I think that was his name. That was some crazy shit. And not only, the biggest thing was the kid and everything like that, but in that whole diss track, Pusha T was just, he basically just unloaded a whole clip on Drake. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Drake didn't fucking come back from that. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, yeah, here's my kid. And shit like that. But this beef with heavy fucking quotation marks on them, this beef between Kanye and Drake, it was like a fucking, it was like a bullshit feud that, fizzled out in like a fucking week or two. Because, not like, I want to say it was about a month or two later. It was around the time the Donda Deluxe drops, or a little bit earlier. You see fucking Kanye, I think it was Kanye, I could be wrong, I didn't care enough. You see Kanye doing a fucking apology video to Drake, and was just like, oh, let's squash the beef, blah blah blah, and everything like that. And I'm just like, so that's it? We just gonna bury the hatchet like that, huh? We done. Because this was nothing. This was basically just two kids who got into a fight over the most randomest fucking bullshit reason, and they just don't talk to each other, and they're like pouting every time they see each other. And then a fucking adult comes in and says, say you're sorry. That is basically what this fucking beef was. The only difference was that they both had millions of dollars. So they didn't just pout like little kids. They pouted in fucking Malibu or the fucking Bahamas and shit. That's what they did. That is what this fucking beef was. An adult came in and said, say you're sorry. This is stupid. Bury the fucking hatchet. There isn't even a hatchet to fucking bury. Just say you're sorry, because this is stupid. And then what happens? Drake is like, oh, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. And then they come together and they did that whole, the fuck was it? Free someone, some shit like that recently. And I'm just like, what in that world was this? And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this shit was staged. This was staged. Or they put on airs. Because I'm just like, other people that, have had beefs throughout hip hop. Let me not say hip hop, throughout music, and, all their, different shit like that. When niggas got beef, they got fucking beef. You know what I'm saying? And it's like diss track after diss track after diss track, and they dissing their kids, and they dissing their fam, and they dissing themselves and shit. And I'm just like, God damn, this is a beef worthy. You know what I'm saying? Worthy to be called a beef. Like, for example, people talked about the MGK and Eminem shit. And people were like, yo, Eminem came from MGK's head. It was just like, it was so bad, MGK switched genres. And I'm like, okay, kind of fair. But this beef, what did we get out of it? What did we get out of this Kanye and Drake beef? You know what we got? Absolutely fucking nothing. We got 2 albums that honestly were both shit. We got a deluxe version of one of those albums that still was shit, except now there's just a little bit of goodness on it from Andre and Tyler. And we get a fucking I apologize thing. They come together and and then they do a fucking show together or some shit like that. I felt it was fake, because it's just like, the reason I say it was a fake beef is basically just because the way it went. You know what I'm saying? I felt like all seriousness, it kind of started with fans, because CLB was hinted, and then, you had, well, not really hinted, it was being talked about because Drake was talking about it. And then, you had Donda coming, with the listening parties and everything. And so people are just like, oh, Drake and Kanye, Donda and CLB are going to be fighting for #1 and shit like that. And I'm just watching this while I'm listening to fucking Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, which is the true #1. But anyways, let's not get into that shit. But I feel like it was staged, and it's mostly just because these two artists with millions upon millions of fucking dollars to their names. They have millions of dollars to their names. And they fight over nothing. Like, I don't even remember the reason the beef started. But the reason I felt like it was staged is for that reason. They were fighting over basically nothing. But I feel like if you ask someone, hey, remember that Kanye and Drake beef? Why did it start? They won't remember. Because there was nothing to fight about. There was nothing to beef about. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole, when Donda dropped, CLB would drop, CLB and everything, like I said before. And it was just like, that's what this was. It was just to get their fucking albums more streams and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, picking sides and shit like that. Oh, I'm on the CLB side. I'm on the Donda side. Whatever. And then they squashed the beefs and everything like that. Because it's just like, because they honestly, I'm like, this is Kanye and Drake. They were just like, they were looking at the numbers for their albums. They saw that they did fucking fantastic. And they were just like, okay, it's time to stage this apology. Even though we weren't really beefing, we were just doing it for the fucking streams, for the money and shit. That's what this was. That is literally what this was. And it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did this for nothing. For nothing. And I'm gonna say this: you take that however you want. You know what I'm saying? Whether, I'm wrong or I don't make sense or anything like that. I don't care. You know why? Because I'm just going to be listening to fucking Call Me If You Get Lost or Baby Keem stuff. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to listen to those 2 albums because unlike Donda and CLB, those 2 albums are fucking amazing. By artists that really cared about their fucking music. I'm going to say that. And with that, I'm done with this segment. Because just like this beef, it was nothing. Okay, so we are coming to the conclusion of this episode. This isn't that many segments, as you can tell. But that is it for this episode. It was about Drake and Kanye, in my opinions on the albums, the artists, and the so-called beef that they had. Just a quick rundown. I'll say it like this: Donda, trash. CLB, didn't listen to it because Drake was just declining. Kanye West, declining. The beef was nothing. Them coming together and apologizing and doing a show meant absolutely nothing. All staged just to boost their fucking ratings, in my opinion. That's all this was. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did, talking about just, getting this shit off my chest. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Get ready for a shit ton more episodes I got in mind. And, yeah, peace out. All love.